Hello, everyone. It's Jeff here, and I have Tom Meany with me out of the Exton Market Center. We are going to be talking to you today about transitioning your business into Command and really where to start. What are some really good starting points and the first 3 or 4 things to really kind of hit up to make sure that you are using the system efficiently and properly to make sure that it gives you the most value to your business. So. Tom, did you have anything you wanted to add before I started sharing my screen?
Nothing big. I mean, I guess I could just start by saying that Command is the primary CRM that I'm using right now, and I've seen a benefit. Although there's the functionality is not fully there, as a lot of people have said, but I've taken bits and pieces that I think we'll touch on today, which have helped me with business and growing future business from that. So I guess I'll let you take it away, and then I'll touch base on certain things you're saying and maybe dig a little deeper into what you're talking about.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Then I will share my screen here. All right, so you should be able to see my screen now. Is that right? Nope, you cannot.
No, I can't. I did.
There How about there? Is that better?
Yep.
All right. Technology. All right. So if you've logged into Command, you're very familiar with this screen. This is your home screen. You have all of your different apps on the side here, reporting on the front screen, which we'll touch on another day. But for today, we just want to start with talking about the things that will really get your business up and running in Command. So the first piece we want to talk about is the contact section. Getting your people in here, getting your CRM filled out and ready to go. So it's as simple as clicking on contacts here. And if you're coming from a different CRM, generally there's a way to export all of your leads from that CRM, and it'll download in a CSV file or an Excel file. And what's really great is that Command allows you to import all of your contacts all at once, and they give you a formatted CSV that you can use, and it's as simple as going through these steps. So once you're in your contacts, you pop over to import, and this screen will pop up. If you don't have the CSV yet, you simply download it here, and it's just a bunch of different columns: first name, last name, address, phone number, email, lead source, any tags you want to add to them, and you simply fill that in. It's important that you don't alter that CSV format. You don't move the columns around, you don't delete columns. If you do, then it won't upload properly. It won't upload at all. So it's just copying and pasting from whatever you downloaded from your current CRM into this new CSV. Then you drag it and drop it here, and it will simply upload your documents right here. I think that's the first place anybody should be starting right now. Tom, did you want to add anything about contacts or how to maximize your contacts once you have them?
Yeah, I think if you go back to that import button, I found I had a little bit of frustration when I first started doing this, but once I downloaded that pre-made Excel spreadsheet and started to kind of copy and paste from previous spreadsheets that I had, I ran into some issues where I would click, drag it and drop as it shows there and hit submit, and there were error messages, and the error messages were at times I didn't understand what it was saying, and it was a lot of playing around. Like one thing that I always noticed is when you had their phone number, you'd want to change the country code to the number 1, and then all of a sudden it worked. I guess that's digging a little bit deep into it, but I know you'll touch base and get a little deeper into this in a little bit, but putting as much as you possibly can into that spreadsheet as far as that line item for each name is only going to help ultimately what your database health score is, which I know you'll touch on.
Yes, that's actually a great transition. So I'm going to open up a see, am I in here? Here I am. I'm going to open up one of the contacts here. So once you get uploaded, you can see obviously it's me. And phone number, different tags, email address. I just added a bunch of different things here. Now, one thing that the system does is that it assigns a health score to each of your contacts, and you can see that right here. This is the health score of this specific contact. And the health score is actually comprised of several different pieces. So I don't know, can you see that, what I just dragged onto the screen by any chance, Tom?
No.
No, cool. All right, hold on one second here. Desktop 2, let's try that. How about that?
That's perfect. Oh,
That's
went
perfect.
away.
Oh, of course it did. Hold on one second. I got it back. How's that?
That's good.
All right, so this is a little cheesy thing that I pulled off of the KW Command Group, but it does a really nice description of what each piece of this contact will add to your health score. So if I add a name, I jump up to 20%. If I add an email, jumps up to 40%. Phone number, another 20%, and so on and so forth. Address, a tag, a lead source, date of birth, social media account, or a job title or company name. These are all the different pieces of this contact that will get you up to 100% health score. Tom, did you want to add a little bit about that? I know you mentioned you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, so I think 100% is something that you would want to strive for, but if you really break it down, I don't think it's not as important to get to 100% by adding those little 4% where they work. I mean, that can be useful at some point while you have them in your database, but I think what you really want to focus on is getting to a number that you're comfortable with, knowing that you have their information, that should you need to get in touch with them at some point down the road, you have their name, their email address, phone, their address. Date of birth is something that could be helpful. I know a lot of times I've gone on Facebook and tracked their somebody's page, and I would look at their about info and see what their birthday is, because that's going to give me a way to just reach out randomly on their birthday when they wouldn't expect it.
And that'll actually be a really nice transition into smart plans in a second.
Right.
But so to kind of talk a little bit more about that, so I'm going to go back to my contacts. Back to my home screen. And if you scroll down on the home screen, so you saw that one contact was 64%. If I scroll down here, it's actually going to do a database health comparison for me. So this shows my whole database health score right here. And in the gray, it allows you to compare it to different people and different groups of people. So right now it's comparing it to agents in my market center. So overall in Exton, we have a 51.9% database health score. And in each different facet here, you can see the different percentages. You can also drop down, you can compare it to agents in my state, all KW agents across all market centers worldwide, agents in your production bracket, above you, your production bracket, your top production bracket. So you can see where you fall. Say people, in my production bracket, they're averaging around 52.7, and there it goes. But you can also drill down into it by clicking on it and getting even more detailed. But this is a little bit more advanced than we need to go. But I think that's a really nice way to see if your database is healthy, and a really great way to, Tom, I'm not an agent, so I would imagine.
So the benefit that I truly think of that health score, which I like, is it kind of makes a game out of your database. We're lead generators, so we need the information to go back and use information with our people. So if this is going to be a metric where we can gather information and use it again, we're only helping our business by doing that. And if anything, if you have somebody's phone number and you're at 40% and you need some other info, just call them up and say, hey, I just want to make sure I have the right email for you, or is this your address? And then you add that into your database, and it gives you another reason down the line to touch base with them. And in addition to kind of what you're talking about, comparing yourself to others, everybody always said, don't compare yourself to others. But if anything, you're seeing kind of what your competition is doing within KW as far as, if they're using command, are you better at using command than them in terms of what you're adding to your database? But I really like that. That's one of my favorite parts of command. It sounds funny, but that's something I constantly look at is to see where it's at. I mean, I know you have neighborhoods as low, and you're not really putting neighborhoods in too much, but if I see that, if I'm adding people into my database and that number of neighborhoods or address starts to trickle down, I can go in and kind of sort my list and see who doesn't have an address, and is it something that I just happened to miss when I was putting it in, or do I not really know their address? And I can go back in and get those numbers back up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just so many different ways to use this feature. So I think to kind of recap that, going back, getting your contacts in, using the CSV, getting your database health score up, huge first step in, making sure command works for you. You had talked about adding birth dates, and I said that would be a good transition into smart plans. So if you don't know what smart plans are depending on what system you've come from, they've been called action plans. I don't know, I'm sure they're campaigns, different things for different systems, but it's pretty much just a sequence of events that'll automatically happen once you start the plan. So whether it's emails going out or automated texts or just task reminders for you, these are all different things that you can add in a smart plan. One of them is a birthday smart plan, simple and easy, but I wanted to show you where those lived and how you can utilize those. So you simply come down to the Smart Plans app here. And KW offers you a stock library of a ton of different smart plans already. So you simply come up to Library, click on that. And these are all the different smart plans that KW has already built for you. Monthly neighborhood plans, long-term nurture plans, open house follow-ups. They're already here for you to use. Here's the birthday plan that we were talking about. If you wanted to take a peek, you can see that there's 6 different tasks in there. There's 6 total things, 6 days long, and it's a total of 4 touches. And you're like, I wonder what those are. You can click on View Steps, and it runs down the plan for you. So there's just a touch task. It waits 4 days. Phone call, waits a day. Another way for you to reach out, and then it'll send a text.
Yeah, you kind of went quick there, but if you hover over that first touch task.
Thank you.
It's saying 6 days prior to their birthday, send a handwritten note and drop it in the mail. So you figure you write it, even if you dropped it in the mail that day or a day or 2 later, it's still going to get there a little bit beforehand, but you're knowing that you might be the first person that's wishing them a happy birthday. And then obviously phone call, and then go to that second touch task down below. Send a social post. So that might be on their birthday or not. I'm not positive. But if anything, if you in all of these smart plans, if you hover, if you don't quite understand exactly what it is, if you hover over, you could see kind of what's already stock in there of what to do.
Yep. And once you apply this to a contact, these will show up as tasks for you, and it'll actually say, send a social post to Jeff for their birthday on this day.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So say I wanted to add that to my list and I want to start using that. All you do is simply add a smart plan. Say my birthday, smart plan 1, and then you apply it. Then you can come back up to your smart plans, and it'll be in here somewhere, probably down the very end. I've been playing around with this a lot. So here it is right here. You can see that it comes up here. One of the great things here is that they actually allow you to customize these. And I think, Tom, you have a lot more experience with the customization than I do. I mean, what's the value of customizing these smart plans, even though KW has given you a nice outline.
Yeah. Well, let me backtrack here on the birthday smart plan. If you go to the right under actions,
Mhm.
so you're creating the smart plan, but right there is add a contact. So if you click into that, you can search by the name or pretty much anybody that you have in your database that you have their birthday listed.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah, I don't know why only one name's popping up there for you.
Might be the only one I have a birthday for, to be quite honest.
Okay, yeah. So, but if you have every single person in there with a birthday, every single name will pop up there and you can click select all and everybody's going to be on a smart plan. So you're going to get those task reminders 6 days leading up to their birthday. So, so if their birthday is on June 16th, on June 10th, you're going to get your first notification of write a handwritten note. And then each subsequent task leading up to the actual birthday, you're going to get daily notifications on when you should do it. The way it's set up is it's basically doing your thinking for you. It's just telling you do this.
Making your job easier is what it's doing.
Yeah.
Um,
But to go back with what you were saying, we have the ability within these smart plans to customize them. And I've seen a benefit, and I know this is probably another training altogether, but these Facebook ads that we're able to run, what I had done was created a customized smart plan for any of those Facebook leads that were coming in. And there is, you can honestly use one of these stock smart plans for those leads if you wanted to. But I know you and I were speaking earlier, I wanted to customize something so that I was communicating with the people as I normally would. So just click the button create up on the top right there. And I'll kind of walk through how simple it is to create a lot of these. And if you're not on the Facebook command groups, I would get on one of them because a lot of people are sharing what their smart plans or their customized smart plans are actually looking like. But you can go in, hit apply. So this might not make too much sense, but hopefully I can walk through a little bit. Trigger manually up top, that is a functionality that will change pretty soon, that we will not need to physically add somebody to a smart plan. It's like that website, if this, then that. We're going to be able to set it up so that if a Facebook lead clicks on our ad, they're automatically going to go into our database with the Facebook lead tag. And once that happens, it triggers that smart plan to start. So we're not even in command doing that.
yeah.
All we have to do is set and forget on the lead ad. But what I've done on a smart plan that I created for my Facebook ads was taking a lot of this. So if I did create a task, you basically drag and drop.
There we go.
There you go. So you can create a task, name the task, and this is going to be a task reminder. So in the top right-hand corner of that little dialog box, you see day one. So this is the first day that contact is on the smart plan. You're going to get a task reminder of whatever you put here. If you scroll down a little bit, let's see, send SMS, MMS, do that one on the right and drag that one down.
So I don't have Twilio account connected, just so you know.
That's fine. So I do Twilio myself. I have a customized local number. It's my understanding that if you do not have a Twilio number set, or better yet, it might actually send a text. I would have to look into this. It might actually send a text from some area code that we wouldn't want a text coming from because it's going to look like spam.
Yeah, there's a couple of
It is.
idiosyncrasies with Twilio, but I mean, that's definitely more an advanced thing. And if you don't know, Twilio is the third-party application that actually can send the text for you. It won't send from your phone number. But if you have questions about setting that up or questions just about the functionality of it, just let us know and we can talk about that individually. But I
Yeah,
think
so
how easy this is to really customize at this
yeah, it's, I mean, we can spend all day going through this of the drag and drop, but that's essentially what it is. You're customizing it by dragging and dropping and changing what day you want a certain thing to happen on from the day that you added it. So I don't have mine open up here, but mine was pretty intricate. I think I checked earlier. I think it's like a 67-day smart plan, and it links to phone calls or texts and emails that I've already pre-populated. So I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just waiting for the response where I can jump in and start communicating with these people. So it's pretty cool how it works, and the fact that we can customize it and a somewhat easy to look at interface, and that it'll only get better as far as when these triggers will be allowed to start being used.
And you mentioned that triggers are going to be a lot more user-friendly coming up. And also, I do know that they're going to be releasing the ability to share smart plans soon amongst other KW users, other command users. So if a friend has one that's really great and they're willing to share it, they can just, pretty much share in your KW address, and then
That'll be
you'll have
nice
access to it,
That'll be nice.
which will be incredible. So, all right, so that is smart plans. So we get your contacts in. Maybe we get some of your contacts set up on birthday smart plans just so that you're staying, front of mind and accessible to them.
There's one smart plan that's as simple, and to dumb down really what we want to do is if you have somebody in there and you want to call them 4 times a year, there's a quarterly call smart plan where you just add them on that on a specific day, and 4 times a year, once a quarter, you're going to get a reminder that says hey, just call this person.
Yep.
So you're not literally going through your list.
Yep.
Wait 90 days and call again, and unlimited. So it never ends until you actually stop the campaign. So we're talking about updating our contacts, or I'm sorry, getting our contacts kind of built out so the database health score is high. This is going to allow us that we're going to have a phone call with them, and we'll be able to log a phone call in our activity, so we can go back and say, if you're randomly looking through your contacts, you could say, oh, I called that person 2 months ago or 3 months ago, or, I missed that one reminder and I haven't talked to them in 6-9 months. Now's a good time to get a hold of them. Yeah.
And not to go back to contacts too long, but here's that last contacted column that Tom was talking about. So as long as you log the
That's
call.
Actually, I sort, believe it or not, I sort my entire list by last contacted.
That's great.
Because it tells me the last time that I talked to somebody, or at least logged in command that I talked to that person. And there's going to be times if it's a slow day, you have 105 contacts there. I'll go to the very end and I'll see, all right, I haven't contacted that person ever, or I haven't contacted them in 2 years. That's a perfect excuse for me to call them up or text them and update it in command. So that bumps them to the very top of the list.
Great. So then the last piece of this puzzle, not the last piece by far, but the third piece of this puzzle is opportunities. And over here on your opportunity screen. So what you'll hear most people say about opportunities is that it's about once you have a transaction signed, once you have an active deal or an active listing or anything like that. But this system, it's really built to be from day one of adding a lead all the way through a transaction. Tom, I'm not sure if you use it that way or not, or if you just use it once a transaction really begins. But I'll let you speak to that and to the
No.
benefit as well.
So ad nauseum, I feel like a lot of people have heard that if you want to get paid, eventually you're going to have to create an opportunity and go through DocuSign or Dotloop. So, you can bring all the documents back in, which is a very important piece. But I use this is my pipeline tool. Opportunities is pipeline for me. And I've done it. I know every CRM's probably got a way. Everybody's got, a spreadsheet, or they're writing it on a piece of paper of, these are my A clients, B clients, C clients, or whatever you would call them. Opportunities is what that is. It's just breaking it down into a little bit more, minute detail, where you can track along. So scroll down and go into buyers. Just click the cultivate. Or hold before you do that. So you obviously, or you can keep it right there. Stop.
Sorry. So fast.
All right. So you got cultivate to appointment to active to under contract to close. The cool thing about this is, yes, you're going to, at this screen, you're going to be able to see you have, 8 in buyers right there. I'm sure they're all samples, yep. But if you have buyers that are active, that they're about to do business, you're going to be dragging them into this active stage. And at this screen, you're going to see that you only have a total amount of 8. But if you go in and click active right there, this is going to the opportunity that you've created, you're going to see the name or the address. What obviously is going to ask you what their projected sale price will be and what you think your commission will be, which you're going to put it in there. And these little boxes here, you have that first one, 123 Main Street, $9,000. So that's what you think you're going to make on your commission right there. And just above that, you see you're in the showing. I call them buckets. I don't even know if what they're supposed to be.
Phases, yeah.
Searching obviously means you've probably set them up on an MLS search.
Mm-hmm.
Once they call and they say, "I'm ready to go. Let's go start looking at houses." You're going to drag that one back to this searching. You're going to click and hold on that and drag it. So this, when I have active buyers, this is helping me every day when I open up opportunities and see, okay, what's my business looking like today? I'm going to see, okay, Jeff is searching. Oh no, Jeff, I showed Jeff a house last week. Let me put him into the showing bucket. And then as the process goes on, you make the offer, you're in negotiations, you're going to drag them over to the next one. And then I think if you, yeah, there you go.
Well, that's legacy. That's old one. So the next stage would be going under contract. And if
gotcha. Yeah.
you go back to,
I don't even know what legacy is. I have 0 people in there as well.
That is okay. So yeah, if you're ready to move to under contract, it's as simple as dragging it to under contract.
Yeah.
Just move it to contract, and I should be in here somewhere. Oh, I got to go back to there I am.
There you are. So in escrow, which basically under contract, you're up to the inspections, you're through inspections, you're onto the appraisal, and I think financing is the one to the right of that.
Why can't I see the little scrolly bar? It's gone. There's no scrolly bar here. There we go.
Yeah, financing, clear to close. So you're going to be able to go in, if you're good about this and opening up your opportunities and looking at your pipeline daily or weekly, however you're going to do it, this is going to help you see where everybody's at in the process, because if you have it in front of you, you're a little bit more likely to know what's going on and be able to talk intelligently about your business with somebody else if they were to ask. So if you see the number just under the word appointment, it says 90%. And then that's in escrow. If you go to inspections, it's 90%. Go to click the cultivate button off to the left there. So cultivate is somebody that maybe you met somebody in an open house and they said, yeah, we want to buy, but we don't know what it's going to be. And oh, yeah, we want to use you as our agent. You might create the opportunity and drag them directly into that hot bucket. Or if it's somebody that says, hey, you know, we're going to do business. I have no time frame of when I'm going to do it. I would create the opportunity and have them in the nurture bucket. And to go back to these percentages, a big part of our business is being able to project what our income will be. And until we have somebody under contract with a buyer's agency or a listing contract, we really don't know how much we're going to be getting paid. We can guess, we can take pretty educated guesses, but what this is going to do is, if you're really good about it, KW had done some studies to show that if a certain contact is within a certain point in the process, the percentages that you'll get paid are listed at that. So if you have them under nurture or a hot lead, and they're going to buy a $300,000 house, KW, and they're in that hot bucket, what's that? So $9,000, 10% of that, like, what is that, $900?
$100. Let's just make sure that works, shall we? I'm going to drag this, go away. I'm going to drag Main Street. It's $9,000 potential commission, right? Bring it
Correct.
back to cultivate. Did it work?
You go into the cultivate section there.
Yeah, that would probably help, right? So if I put them
Correct.
in nurture, oh no, you said hot, right? 10%,
Yeah, keep them in hot, just be
probable,
percentages, it's easy.
$900.
Yes. Oh, so you can see I have the screen blocking it, so I can't.
Oh,
even
sorry.
see
Yeah,
it.
there's a probable option at the bottom based on that percentage.
Yeah, so it'll tell you what it is, what your potential, what your probable is. Now, that's in that one individual section of cultivate. If you click back and go to the main opportunity screen, and say you have 10, 20, 30, however many opportunities that you've created, it's combining the percentages of where everybody's at in the process. Where if you scroll off to the right there, you can see that potential and probable, and then scroll even further to the bottom. On the bottom left there, you can track kind of what your business is at. The ratio of your business is 20% listings, 80% buyers, based on what you're creating with your opportunities. And it's showing your probable and potential income. So you want to talk about projecting your income. That is, I've never seen it as in depth as that. And once I finally understood that, I was like, man, I got to keep at it. Like, that is, if I'm opening up command, yeah, it's going to take me to the home screen, but I'm clicking my opportunities to see where I'm at every day. And I'm dragging and dropping till the cows come home, because I want to see what I'm projected to make this year, or at some point in the future. I want to see what business is on the table.
So I mean, pretty much at any stage, as soon as you get a lead that you're actually going to pursue, like, I personally would drop them right into here and then start their journey here.
Correct.
That would make sense to me. So
yeah, if I had Tom Smith as a contact, and I just happened to have a conversation when I was texting with him, and he said, oh yeah, I'm probably looking to sell a year out. He's going into the listing opportunity, probably under hot lead, and I'll have some sort of note of the conversation in his contact card that he said, a year out. And I'm probably putting him on a smart plan to touch base with him based off what he said. So it all comes full circle once you're really in it and using it quite a bit.
Sounds like Tom is more of a
the,
nurture being a year out. What do you
well,
think?
yeah, I mean, whatever.
I'm just throwing it out there.
It doesn't matter. I mean, there's no right or wrong. It's however you are looking at that person.
So,
I mean, if Tom's a year out, you're not going to put him as an active seller,
fair enough.
you know, so because you don't know whatever the percent. If you click into active, the percentages jump quite a bit because you're that much closer to getting paid on it. At 70%, 50%. So just the fact that Tom told me he wants to sell a year out, that I'm not making any money, but I have the potential to make 7% of whatever I think it's going to be.
$630. So I just put a dollar amount on this potential deal, which for some people
Exactly.
could be a real motivator. Be like, that's $630 that I could possibly be making if I, keep up with this guy. And if I get him to move to hot, he's now worth $900.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, obviously you don't want to look at people as dollar signs, but if anything, that's kind of making them a dollar sign. And it kind of, by looking at that, it should kind of foster how you're communicating with him or her or whoever's in your database.
great. And then, not that we're going to get into it right now, but if your business works differently than these different stages, scheduling, scheduled, kept, or searching, showing, negotiations, these are completely customizable by going to edit stages. So you could get rid of searching and create something here that's completely different, or reorder these, or whatever you wanted to do. So this is really customizable down the road as well. So
yeah, and it's my understanding also that as things progress with Command and the Command Mobile, once we drag, say, an active buyer from showing to under contract, that is going to trigger something to go to the client to say, congratulations, we're now at this stage.
yes, it actually already does something similar on the consumer app where it goes through the steps of the process. So if you would move somebody from active to under contract, it would move them down. And this can be a class we do, but it'll move them down through the process and be like, congratulations, you're now under contract. Here's what happens now.
Yeah.
So that's another reason for them to get the app, which is good. And one last cool little thing, if you don't like this view, a lot of people use this view, a lot of people don't. You can switch to the list view, which may sit better with you, but maybe it doesn't. But it functions the same way with the dragging and dropping. So just a different way to look at the system. List view or board view. But I think that's about it. I mean, those are the three really key places to start. At least in my opinion, I think, Tom, you would have to agree.
Yes, very much so.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for agreeing.
I think a lot of the other things are just extras that when you have time, you go kind of navigate and see what you like, what you don't like. I mean, there's designs and referrals and all that. So that's not something that you need to know immediately. But I think with any CRM, or even if you don't use a CRM, contacts is probably the most paramount thing that you need to handle right off the bat.
And it's super powerful. So use it. So if you have any questions about this or anything that you saw today, or if you need some more explanation or help, feel free to reach out to me, Facebook, email, whatever you want to do. Tom is also available, I'm sure, but feel free to reach out to me or anyone, and we'll absolutely be happy to help. So Tom, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your night. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And I will see you around. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.
See ya.